Hey everybody, welcome back to Storytime with Sue.
No, Sue, it's episode 43.
Ooh, sorry about that. Welcome to episode 43, where today we have a great informative show for you. We're going to talk about Use Year and all the questions people have about Use Year. Now, back to my story.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are now entering the world of DVC, the ultimate DVC destination where magical vacations meet incredible value through exceptional service. Put in your headphones, turn the volume up, sit back, relax, and step into the world of DVC.
Just wish on a star. Enter the world of DVC.
Hi, look at Sue.
Sue's here.
Yay!
Welcome to our new studio.
Welcome, Sue.
I know, this is nice.
Isn't it nice?
It's so good to be back. It
This
really
is the same studio that Steven Spielberg films his movies in.
Yeah.
So this is
Yep.
really exciting.
Yeah,
We're happy
right
to have
here
you.
in,
I'm happy to be here.
Welcome
Thanks.
back.
Welcome back. Yeah, in Orlando. Right. Welcome back. And you welcome back too.
Thanks.
You
Yeah,
were
long
here
time
last
no
month.
see.
Long time no see. And everybody, welcome back to the World of DVC Show. I can't believe it. This is literally, as I was typing the quick outline for the show, I was like, episode 43?
Yeah.
43 times we have done this show. And Sue, it's a long time coming to have you back.
I know.
So we're
We've
super...
missed you.
Yeah, I've missed you guys too.
Sue alternates her time in St. Martin, and maybe she's at a DVC resort, which you're going to hear about soon as well. So, yeah. Welcome, everybody. We've got a great show planned today. We're going to talk about one of the most popular things that folks ask us about at the DVC resale market, which is, what's a use year? What does it mean? How does a use year affect my travel? Does it matter what use year I have? So we're going to hit all of those questions that you guys ask us all the time. We're going to talk about some great new Disney updates, some awesome news here around the world of DVC that you're not going to want to miss as well. But I'd love to go ahead and start this too with, if we can go kick it off with one of my favorite things that we do each year.
Yep.
Is Give Back November. So when Marissa, our fabulous marketing director, informed us all and said, hey, we're getting ready to do Give Back November. Once again, our partnership with Give Kids the World, it makes me very, very happy. So thank you for putting this together once again.
And of course, incredible partners and just so many good things they do for families all around.
Yeah.
And it gives that opportunity for families who are dealing with so much with their little ones, having that break and having that vacation. And we've done a full episode, and I'll put that in the description here, but we've done a full episode with the team at Give Kids the World. So you can kind of see what the heart is behind all of what they do. But essentially, families can come here, they can kind of turn off that day-to-day worries and get to celebrate. And they have a celebration at the village every single day.
Yeah.
And of course, during the holiday times, they really turn it up with the
the
incredible
decorations.
Holiday Village, which is back this year.
Yep.
So if you get a chance and you're in Orlando during that time, again, you can actually sign up ahead of time for your vacation and you can come and volunteer, but also you can participate in seeing the amazing village while you're here. So highly recommend that. But what we are doing here at World of DVC with all of our brands, whether you are having business done with DVC Resale Market, DVC Rental Store, Monera Financial, Magic Vacation Title, or Be Your Guest Vacation, a portion of those proceeds go to Give Kids the World for the entire month of November. And
awesome.
if you are watching and saying, hey, this is an incredible cause, we want to join you guys in that give back, make sure I'll put the link in here, but you can join the World of DVC team in giving back, and you can actually give back as well straight through that link. So join us. We'd love to see as many people contribute as possible to this incredible cause. And again, I'll put that link so you can watch the show and learn more if you haven't learned about Give Kids the World.
Yeah.
But I'm going to let Sue talk a little bit about this. She was at their holiday soiree last year, and they had an amazing event. And she's actually heading back there on Saturday.
On Saturday.
So follow along on Instagram and Facebook. We'll have Sue be posting some videos while she's there. But Sue, tell us a little bit about last year.
They're letting you come back?
Yeah.
They personally invited me to come back after what I did last year.
Yeah, that's why they're having you come back.
Give Kids the World. The soiree was beautiful last year. The village is all decorated for the holidays, and it's just spectacular. But we started off with a cocktail hour, and it was in the Castle of Dreams. And when you look in the Castle of Dreams, there are little stars all over the walls, the ceiling, and they're gold stars and they just sparkle. And each star is a child's name. And at the end of their vacation, the child is given a star with their name on it, and they tell them where they want to put their star to be remembered. Oh. And so when you look, it's massive. It's every single room. It's the archways, the doorways. It's just glittering with all these stars of all these kids in there. It really is. It's very touching. And they did an auction. They always do an auction. They do a silent auction, and then they do a live auction. And one of the things that was on my bucket list was to go to New Orleans and be in Mardi Gras, or at least attend Mardi Gras. And there, they had a Mardi Gras trip for 4, and you paid your own way to get there, and you paid your hotel, but it was being on Harry Connick Jr.'s floats. And
did you get to meet him?
Just a little bit.
Okay.
Got to meet him, but it was wonderful. So I was bidding on that, and someone else was bidding on it, and the paddles kept going up and up and up, and everyone at my table kept looking at me saying, "Do you know what you're doing?" And it's like, "I want this trip. I want this trip." So needless to say that
the other person mysteriously disappeared.
No, actually, I gave it to them. I said, "No, I'm stopping here." It went above 10, but below 15,000, and so I said, "I'll stop here." And that's when the auctioneer said, "Would you match them? Because we have 2 trips."
Oh.
So I did.
I didn't hear that part.
Yes,
I didn't hear that either.
So between the 2 of us, we raised the most money that night for Give Kids the World, but it was well worth it. The trip was fantastic. To have the experience of throwing beads out to people and seeing their faces and meeting celebrities.
Your pictures were awesome.
Oh, it was just
so cool.
It was just
and you went with
fantastic.
Jody, too,
Yep,
right?
I brought Jody along, and I brought 2 other friends with me, and the 4 of us had a blast. We had such a great time. And they have that same trip this year, except now they're also paying for a hotel room. But I've already done it once. They do have a nice trip to Broadway, though.
So have you looked out the auction items?
Yes, I have.
Sue's ready to go.
Yes, I have. But it was a great night, and I got to meet some of the families and some of their children afterwards. And to hear a mother say that this is the only place where her daughter can take a bath, because they have the lifts that go into the bathtub, and her daughter loves baths. So they come once a year. They're from Ocala. They come once a year for a few days, and her daughter just enjoys the bubble bath. Yeah. And she can have it there.
That's
and
great.
Your heart just goes out to them, and the families, they don't have a care in the world that week because everyone takes care of them. So they're not the caregivers that week.
Yeah.
That's
which
so
is
great.
nice.
Oh, so
great organization.
Yep.
Can't wait to
Yeah.
go on Saturday.
Yeah, it's when November rolls around, it's always just exciting to be able to partner with that team there.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we've done this for how many years have we partnered with them?
This is our 3rd year.
3rd year.
Yeah.
3rd year. So our goal is to break what we did last year.
Yes.
That is our goal. So that's why every single division in our whole entire company is going to take part in this. And Sue has promised. Sue has promised to match whatever it is.
Yeah, right. I think last year we raised just under $30,000.
Wow.
I think it was like 25 to 28,000 in total that we raised for Give Kids the World.
Yeah,
so
that's
again,
awesome.
join us in participating in that this November.
Join us for that. And with that, we wanted to touch on, hey, we always like to give away a prize.
Yep.
Each month. Last month, again, we gave away a $100 Disney gift card because we asked y'all and said, what's your favorite festival, right? There's so many festivals at Disney. There's there's Mickey's Party and Halloween and Christmas and candlelights and all this stuff. We said, what's your favorite? So we had so many responses to this. So we can't just pick one. There was not just one overwhelming winner. But can you guys guess maybe what the top 2 were of all the events that
Festival
happened?
of the Arts.
No.
Oh.
Food and wine.
Yes. And there's one more.
Mickey's not so scary.
No, you started
very,
there, right?
very
Mary.
Yes.
Did you see my face?
I know, you're like, you got it. No.
Yes, those were probably the two most popular ones.
Okay.
The Food and Wine Festival
Yep.
and also the Mickey's Christmas Party. Just because everyone was sharing their memories about it. Like how
Yeah.
magical
Yeah.
it is to go to Main Street and see the, fake snow coming down the
Yeah.
streets and the, getting the hot cocoa right when you first arrive. And of course, Food and Wine Festival, people love it because it's food
and wine.
and it's wine. That's it.
Go wrong.
So this month we want to ask you, and Sue's going to talk about what prize it is. We've done the $100 Disney gift card for quite some time now, which is fantastic. But Sue's got something special. But being that it's November, Thanksgiving coming up right around the corner, it's our November Giveback month. We want to know, what are you guys thankful for? Right? So what are you thankful for? And we talked about this, and we're like, it does not have to be Disney related. It doesn't have to be. Many of you will be thankful for Disney related stuff,
Yeah.
which is fantastic. So let us know whether it's Disney related, maybe it's family related, maybe it's friendship related, maybe there's so many reasons to be thankful, right? So we would just love to know in those comments, let us know what you are particularly thankful for, because we're going to put, Sue has
Yep.
something that she's giving away this month to one lucky person. Leave it in the comments. Send us that email too as well at info@worldofdvc.com, and then Sue's going to get in touch with you and let you know that you have won
some cast exclusive and cast limited edition pins. And some of these pins were actually only 500 of them ever made. So I have some very good pins, and I would like them to go to someone who is thankful and someone who will appreciate them.
That's awesome. Can you tease and just say, what are one of the pins? What is one of them?
One of them happens to be a castle pin, and one's a Walt pin.
Oh.
And yeah.
Can I win these?
Just gonna say, we're gonna check the comments, and
Most
Derek's
comments of all time.
Most comments. I'm gonna keep
This
voting.
is exciting, Sue.
That's awesome, Sue. So thank you. So again, if you want to win that, let us know what you're thankful for.
Yep.
Leave it in the comments. Send us that email, info@worldofdvc.com. But with that,
Since we're talking about all the things Disney and thankful, what have you guys done around Disney this month?
That's always fun.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay. My main thing for Disney this month would be, we took a staycation. At the last minute, we were able to book, my wife and I, no kids, we were able to book one night at the beach club. So it literally was 4 days out. We went online, we checked the website. We're like, let's do a little staycation. We've got the points that, of course, we borrow from 2025 because I've got no points left. So we went online and looked, and she goes, hey, you know what? The beach club's available. Should we snag it and book it for Saturday night? We did. It was awesome. We got there about 10 in the morning, spent the whole afternoon at Stormalong Bay. It was a picture-perfect, beautiful day. We then went back, we showered, we went over to have Cruise Cup Lounge dinner, which is right next to the Osman Steakhouse. So if you haven't been, it's great. It's just a really cool kind of a bar atmosphere with big cozy booths. They've got little prime rib sliders. They've got great drinks. It's just a nice atmosphere. Walked up and down the boardwalk, which was insanely crowded because it was the opening of Cake Bake.
Oh,
Did you
yes.
peek in?
Yeah, I peeked in. I had every intention of going to try the, most talked about cake on the whole entire planet. But then when I saw the queue seemed larger than Guardians of the Galaxy, I was like,
Yeah, there's a limit to the
I'm
line
waiting in line for
us.
cake.
And no lightning lane, right?
No lightning lane. But we strolled up and down the boardwalk, went and visited our favorite gift shops, watched the fireworks from that bridge right
Nice.
there.
Yep.
Perfect spot to be able to watch it from. And then that's when my wife said, you know what? We're going to do something. I'm taking you on something that you've never done.
I can't believe this.
That people make fun of me for, because I've never been on the Skyliner.
Wow.
Ever. My whole,
And
it's not that I'm afraid. People are like, oh, it's not scary. I'm like, I'm the dude in the front row of a roller coaster. That doesn't scare me. For some reason, I've just never had the past intertwined where it made sense for me to do it. And I was like, this is it. I'm literally staring at it right there. So we walked over. There was no wait. Took it over to the Riviera. I loved it. I loved it.
I've been telling you
I
this
know.
for, I don't know,
It is
5 years.
fantastic.
It's like we go as a ride. We
Yep,
love
yep.
to go to Topolino's and then end our night riding the Skyliner.
Yep.
It's just such
Yeah,
a
it
really was
wonderful.
cool.
It is.
Yeah.
It was
It's great.
breezy. It
Yeah.
was
Did you
at
get your
night.
own private?
No.
You had
On the
to
way
share?
back, we did.
Okay.
On the way
'Cause
up.
that's so awesome too.
Yeah.
For the most part, if you ask, you can get your own private
Really?
little car.
Yep.
And then it's just a nice
The view is
experience.
crazy. I mean, it was
is.
just a beautiful view. It was breezy, so
Yep.
it wasn't
Yep.
hot. You know what I mean? The only part that I didn't like, which I've done some of the scariest roller coasters in the world, coming into that station, you're like this, the thing's right in front of you, and you're going like right up to it. It feels like you're like 6 inches away when you land. But it was awesome. So kudos Disney. Now I really do know why people love it so much. But they need to build one from Animal Kingdom to the
that
Animal
would be,
Kingdom Lodge.
I
yeah,
would love
that would
that.
be great.
Because who was at Animal Kingdom on Halloween?
Segue.
See that segue?
Yes, thank you very much. I really had the privilege and honor to stay in a one-bedroom at Kidani Village, Savannah View, for the Wednesday and Thursday night of Halloween.
That's awesome.
And I had no intentions of staying there, but I had a client of mine who's also a good friend, John and Teresa, and they could not make their reservation. And they did not want to see the room just go empty. So they called me up at the last minute and said, would you mind taking the reservation for 2 nights and enjoying it? And I was like, would I mind? You're right. Twist my arm. So my name was added to their reservation, and I took the reservation, sent them all kinds of pictures, letting them know that I was enjoying the stay. And it was just fantastic. Watching the animals in the morning, I forgot how nice that resort is and how relaxing. And to your point about the Skyliner, I had reservations over at Via Napoli for lunch.
Yeah.
And so I decided that I would take the bus to Hollywood Studios, got off the bus stop, hopped on the Skyliner,
Oh,
and went
smart.
all the way over to Epcot that way.
smart.
And it was so easy to do. Didn't have that long walk in
I
through
was
Epcot.
just going to say, I was trying to visualize it through my whole head.
Yeah.
And at first I go, why not just take a bus to Epcot? And then I'm like,
But then
wait a
you have to
second.
walk.
You
Yep.
got to walk all
You've got
the
that
way.
long distance of
That's
walking.
a really good tip,
Yep.
Sue.
And then I took the Skyliner back. But this time when I took it back, I also took the second Skyliner over to Pop Century and Art of Animation.
Oh.
And just walked around there for a little bit. So, I mean, you're right. It's an attraction. It's
Yeah.
really a lot of fun. So had a great time, and I thank John and Teresa for that opportunity. And it was nice because I've done that with other people. If I have points and I can't use them, I always try and look for somebody who might be able to take a reservation.
And
Yeah,
you
that's
said
awesome.
you said their names were again, just so I can write this down, so I can personally read. John and Teresa.
Yes.
Do they have a favorite food or gift basket? No, that's awesome.
Nice try.
That's awesome. What about
Well,
you?
so we actually, Carrie and I went to Magic Kingdom on October 30th, which was the day of the Premier Pass release.
Right.
I was worried it was going to be like chaos because I thought, every blogger is going to be out there checking it out, trying it out. It was a perfect day. It was one of the last days to have the fall decor up, so we wanted to go and see that. I had my family in town, so we went and did that. And we didn't pay for any of the Lightning Lanes or Premier Passes. But in my head, I was like, I don't usually do a full day at the parks.
Right.
I go in and do one ride
Right.
and then call it.
Right.
And I was like, well, since I have my family in town, we're going to go morning till evening and really try to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we did. And you know what? And it's a slower time, I'll admit
Right.
that.
Right.
But we got on everything. I mean, we got on Tron and Mine
Wow.
Train and Space Mountain.
Did you use Genie Plus or that?
No, and then we did the
No.
virtual queue for Tiana's Bayou. We got on that. We got on
So
everything.
anything else was just standby?
Yeah, we did standby for everything. We
my
did
God.
Haunted Mansion, Pirates of the Caribbean, Jungle Cruise. And we were home by 4.
Wow.
So we had a very successful, and I don't think I've done that much. And so I think, again, there's a lot of chatter about Disney and being expensive and all of that. But I also think that another thing you could do to combat that is time when you're going to stay, right?
Right.
And so
Yeah.
we know that points are a little bit lower in October. So whether you're a DVC member or renting points, if you can make that trip during a slower
Yeah.
season,
Right.
you can really save because obviously flights are less during that time,
Yep.
but also quite honestly, I didn't need to do any of the Lightning Lanes or passes.
that's-
We had a great day from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and did everything we wanted to do at Magic Kingdom. And it's that reminder of, you know what? Taking that time, it wasn't stressful. We weren't on our phone, on our app. We weren't looking at lines
Right.
because we didn't have any of that. We just went and we enjoyed it. And the lines were maybe 20 to 30 minutes
Yeah.
long. So that's time to chat as a family
Right.
and catch up. So again, I think there's some negativity about all the expenses,
Yes.
but sometimes it's okay just to go and do everything the old school way,
Right.
and you'll still have a wonderful day.
That's I think that's the perfect thing to say too, because there is so much negativity about that. But you know what? It's an option.
Yeah.
So if you want to do that,
And some people have limited time or want to do everything. If it's your one
Correct.
big trip, I get it. So you
Right.
have that, but you don't have to either.
Right. Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
And the nice thing with being a vacation club member, people
just
come
gonna say.
down almost every single year,
Yep.
if not twice a year. And so you've done these things before. So it's not like you have to run around the
No.
parks. You can take your time.
Yeah.
And that's what I've heard from some of my friends and my clients is that now that they've been here time after time after time, they're looking at the weather vanes that are up on top of all the buildings in Magic Kingdom and noticing those, or they're looking at the windows, or they're
Yeah.
looking at
Yeah.
the arca theming that's going on. And it's those fine little details that we missed when we were first going into the park and had to see everything and do
Yes.
everything. So yeah, and I think you're right, Marissa. It's the time of the year. First week of September, right after Labor Day, it's dead.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a great time to come.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Awesome.
Well, speaking of being a DVC member,
Yes.
let's cover one of the most commonly asked questions
Oh, yes.
we get.
I was trying to find a good segue. That was
Stole
good.
it. I was okay.
I was hoping somebody.
I was waiting for Derek. Like I could see the wheels turning, and I was like, he's not going to get there. Let me just.
What is a use here?
Yeah.
And what do I need to know about
That's
it?
the segue right
All
there.
right,
That's what
all
we
right.
need. Let's get into talking about, again, one of the most common questions that we're asked as agents at the DVC resale market is, what is the use year? So I'm looking into this club and I see these different months and whatnot. So we just want to take a few minutes to
Yeah.
just kind of tackle it head on, address the most common questions, offer suggestions, offer tips. And of course, we're not going to be able to cover everything, but that's why we have a phone number, and that's why we have an email,
Yes.
and that's why we have live chat, so we could answer any additional questions that you guys have at any time. But let's go ahead and start with Sue, probably the most basic question that we get, and you can address this because I get it almost every time I work the chat shift or the phones is, hey, so I see use year. Does that mean I can only travel during the month of XXX, whatever that use year is?
Okay, and the answer to that is no. Simply stated, a use year is the month that Disney's going to deposit your points into your account. That's all it is. So think of it as date of deposit of your points. My use year is February. So every February 1st, the Pixies from Disney deposit my DVC points into my account. And I don't have to use them that month. I can use them all 12 months of the year.
Yeah. Yeah, that's just it. Is that when you explain to people and say the use year, it's just the month that the points are put into your account.
Yep.
That means the points for that year are good for travel from the first date of that use year. So for Sue, right, that means if she's got 200 points coming in February 2025, that means she's got 200 points that are good for travel anytime starting February 1st of 2025 all the way through January 31st of 2026. That's all that means. That does not mean, which people ask, and Marissa, you can touch on this. Oh, okay, so I have a February use year, so 200 points are coming. So that means I can't book until February 1st, right? Is that how this works?
Right. Yeah. Great question. So you don't need the points in your account at time of booking.
Right.
And so a lot of this comes from, again, kind of traditional timeshares where you have a set month, a set week, all of that. Disney Vacation Club is extremely flexible, and it was designed with flexibility through the use year system. So you don't need points in your account at time of booking. You need points in your account at time of check-in. So in Sue's case, she's got a February use year. We are in November. If she wants to book a stay right now for July of 2025, she can book that now in November and use her February points because those are going to be there in plenty of time for that July vacation.
That's perfect. Yeah. See, and that's a big one too, is that, well, what if I don't have any points? Like in my case, which is perfect, I'm always out of
We
points.
always use Derek as the borrowing example.
Imagine an agent that's done this for 20 years has no points because I use them all the time.
Right.
I have an October use year, right? So I'm out of points for 2024, right?
Yeah.
I don't have any. But on October 1st, I was very excited because it means that I could start to borrow those points from October 2025 into taking trips. So when I took that beach club trip that we just talked about, I don't got any 2024 points, but I just borrowed whatever I needed
2025?
from 2025.
Because your stay was in October.
Because
so
my
as long as
stay
you pass your
after that.
use year, you have access to the next year's use year. So again, in Sue's example, if she was taking that July vacation, so again, Sue's use year is February. If she wanted to book that now for July, she could use all of her February 2025 points, and she could use all of her February 2026 points because she's passed her use year at time of check-in, not at time of booking.
That's right.
And that's a big one too, Sue, is that people will ask and say, okay, so when I borrow, so can I bank points and bank points and bank points and bank them and bank them? So if I have 200 points, can I not go for 10 years and I'd literally wind up with like 2,000 points?
No, you can't. Unfortunately, you can't. But you can bank up to 1 full year's worth of points, and you can borrow up to 1 full year's worth of points. So conceivably, you can have 300% of your points to use in any given year.
Yep.
I just laugh because I'm like, that'll never happen for me.
Derek.
That's so cute.
He will
that you can
never
do
have
that.
any banks or current.
But I borrow my points every year, but I've told you why.
Right.
Because when I die, I will take next year's vacation before I die. Simple.
Smart thinking. Love it.
And you've got your friends that sent you an Animal Kingdom
That's
too.
right.
As well. So so also remember too, when we talk about booking, don't forget that it's all about your home resort, right? So that's, always remember that. That's very, very important to know that, again, your home resort, whatever it is, the resort that you buy, right? So if I'm looking at Animal Kingdom with a February use year, that means you could book Animal Kingdom up to 11 months in advance of your arrival date. And then any other Disney Vacation Club resort that might happen to be available at that 7-month mark. So always remember, home resort, 11, any other resort, 7.
Yep. And again, to kind of answer another confusing question that we get, people always assume that, hey, if my use year is February, the 11-month window opens up based on my use year.
Yeah.
That's not the case. So 11 months in advance of when you want to travel.
Yeah.
So use year has nothing to do with that home resort priority, which can get a little confusing. So again, in your example, if you want to go and Animal Kingdom's your home resort and you want to stay at Animal Kingdom for Christmas week, you can book that stay in January of that current year for that December trip because it's 11 months in advance of your home resort. Even if your use year is, for example, February, you can book it then. It doesn't have to be based on your use year.
Yeah. And people will ask too, which is very, very common, does it matter? Right?
Right.
Does
or
it,
what use year should I pick? That's another one.
why
we
do I
get a
need
lot.
them? There's I see one for June, I see one in February, I see one in October. So Sue, does it matter what use year? I have a lot of questions about use year. I mean, I bet
Obviously, yes.
You do.
How am I selling this stuff? But yeah, Sue, does it matter? And there's two kind of scenarios on how use year may or may not matter.
Correct. So if you're a person who travels at different times of the year, use year really doesn't make a difference because you're coming at different times of the year. If you have small kids and maybe their vacations are a certain time of year, you're going to find out that in a few years from now, your vacations are going to change because of sports and schedules and extracurricular activities.
I will personally attest to that because when we had our membership back 20 years ago when we lived right outside Chicago, we would plan. And the best part was we could go all the time during those off-peak times because we pulled the kids out of school. We're like, I don't care. They're in kindergarten or first grade.
Right.
But then, man, when things started changing, the looks from the teachers got more and more like, you're not pulling them out.
Right.
So, yes.
But you're on the reverse side now.
Exactly.
Because now the kids are older, so you can kind of go whenever they're around, or you and Annie go solo. So that's another good point, Sue, is whatever works for you today may not be the same in the future. So that's where it gets... Don't plan on that spring break every year for the next 50 years because that's not going to always be the case.
Right. But if you are the type of person who comes at a certain time every single year, and I know that there are still some manufacturing companies out there and some businesses where they close down. They might close down for the first 2 weeks of July. And so that's when you have to take your vacation. Then yes, use year can matter. And one of the reasons use year can matter is about the banking capability. When you get your points, you have 8 months from the day you get your points to be able to bank your points for into the next year. So in my case, I have a February use year. I have to bank them by the end of September. Okay. 8 months. And if I wanted to take a vacation with my February use year, I wanted to take a vacation in, say, December, and I couldn't keep my vacation, I would need to use those points before the 1st of February. But if I have a use year, if my vacation that I'm going to take, I've got a February use year and my vacation's going to be in March, and I had to cancel that, I almost have 10, 11 months to be able to use those points. So
or
that's
you can
when
still bank them because you're not past that banking deadline.
Correct. So that's where it makes a difference.
Yep.
It's if you are going to vacation at different times of the year, don't worry about use year.
Yep.
But if you are vacationing at a particular time of year, then you want to make sure that your use year is going to be a couple of months before.
Yeah.
1 to 2 months before you typically vacation.
Yeah.
We hear it a lot too from teachers, right? That say,
My dad's a teacher, so we grew up like July was the only time we vacationed.
exactly. So we only vacation the month of July. Right, or we go every single June because we're a teacher. This is it. Like we're always going to go June. This is our. Then you know what? A perfect use year for you, if you always travel the month of June, is go with June. Right.
Right,
If you
right.
can't go with June, like Sue said, just
April.
back it up.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
So back. Okay. So April, and why is that important? Again, it's got nothing to do with booking. It's just if you had to cancel within the last minute, right?
Could you still bank those points? And so you want to be within that 8-month stretch.
Right.
So in your scenario, Sue, if you have a February use year and you're traveling, you want your travel to fall anywhere from February through September.
Correct.
Because that's your banking deadline. So I often think sometimes people still limit it.
Yeah.
So in your example, if you're always vacationing in June use year is ideal. It gives you the maximum amount of time to use those points. The points are deposited fresh as soon as you make that stay.
Yep.
And if you have to cancel, it gives you a whole 12 months or 24 months if you bank them. So
Correct.
if you want as much protection as possible, go as close to your vacation time. But you can add flexibility and roll back that full 8 months and say, as long as I vacation within these 8 months, and so that also opens it up for people who do multiple vacations. If you always go 2 times during the year, ideally if you can get it to fall within that 8-month window, that's the ideal. And I know this is kind of a lot when we look at like the different puzzle pieces of when use year is.
This is what we always said. We're like, how deep in the weeds do you want to go?
Right.
And that's what our team is here for, right? And because when you buy direct from Disney, and when we sold direct from Disney, there wasn't that option to strategize.
Correct.
It was, this is the use year that we're
selling.
selling because of where the points are pulled from. So use year is where points are basically the ownership of points are pulled and registered. So when direct from Disney is selling their inventory, it's already established into a use year.
Correct.
So you're pretty much set with that. And that's one of the benefits of resale is we can give you that flexibility, but our team also knows all the ins and outs from being former Disney cast members. So you can reach out to them and say, hey, I always go in July, but you know, every now and then we go in December. Can you help me out with the
what's
most
the-
effective use year? And you don't have to learn everything today and then keep it up here. Reach out, like Derek said,
out,
whether you
yes.
give us a call or on chat, our team will walk you through all the different scenarios to really find that perfect one.
Correct.
But I think one of the things is too, as you limit your use year, you limit the available contracts. So for example, on DVC's Resale Markets website, we have 400 to 500 listings. But if you're looking for a specific 250 point Animal Kingdom December use year, you start to really limit.
Yeah.
So it really comes down to when you're kind of shopping for that contract, do I really want this specific use year? And then you're looking more for really, you have a little less flexibility in pricing or negotiation, or do I want to broaden it up and have a few more options? And it's really up to you. For some people, it's worth paying that premium to find that exact
Perfect one.
contract. I'm not saying you're always going to pay a premium. You just have less options to kind of play around with. And another question we get a lot, and I'll bring this up really quickly, but it's based on, people will always ask, hey.
Did someone just ask you this question while we're
They
taping?
just did. Let me pull it up here. But one of the questions I actually get a lot is, so we always go in November, and I'm looking for a November use year. And so one of the things, and kind of the common misconceptions,
That's a good one,
is there's not a use year for every month of the year. Why? We don't know. That could have made things a little bit easier. We may have not needed a full episode explaining use year if Disney made it a little easier.
Why'd you do that, Mickey?
Come on.
Sorry about that.
Only 8 months.
I only picked 8 months.
So, to clarify, the 8 months that use years exist for are February, March, April, June, August, September, October, and December. So those are your 8 use years. So again, if you're out there searching for November, you will never find that contract.
Yeah.
So broaden it up a little bit.
I've been waiting since 1991.
Well, that's especially true with existing members.
Yes.
Who want to add on.
I
That's
was
a great
just going
point, Sue.
and that's a key point, because if you're looking for the same use year to add on to your membership, it's nice because it keeps it clean. It goes under the same membership ID number and account number. But the problem is now you are limiting yourself to only 1/8 of the market. If you were open to having a different use year, when you go online, you're still going to see your 2 member accounts. You will have a separate member ID number for the second account, but they're both online. You can access one or the other. And then if you want to make a reservation with the points, you can combine the points by calling member services and transferring points from one account to the other. And I have members who do this every single year. When they get their points from one account, they immediately call member services and transfer
Throw 'em
their
in the
points
other.
over to the other account so that they have them all in one place to be able to book.
Yeah.
So you don't really want to limit yourself to just 1/8 of the market or 1/8 of our listings.
Yeah.
That's a big one too, because people will ask. That's very, very common. I have an October use year. Sue, Marissa, does it matter do I have to add on the same use year? Like Sue said, if you can and it happens to be there, grab it.
Yep.
Grab it. Don't wait.
Right.
Grab it, because then it falls everything right there. If you wanted to mush all the points together from different resorts at 7 months, you could do it online.
Right.
But again, don't panic. Like if you see that perfect contract and it's got a different use year, like Sue said, it's not the end of the world.
Right.
Literally, it's one phone call that you have to take. It's just one extra step
And
that you
it
have
really
to.
comes down to how you like to vacation, right?
Yeah.
Because I think there's truly, in my experience with working with members, there's really 2 different types. There's ones that say, I just want this as simple as possible.
Yes.
And there's ones that say, I don't mind an extra step if I can get what I'm looking for or save a little bit of money.
Right.
So first ask yourself, what bucket am I in? Because that's going to guide you in those next steps. Another thing to keep in mind is, realistically, I would say from 2020 on to almost 2023, it was very much a seller's market. We were extremely limited on contracts. We had, there was a time where I think we had under 100 listings at one point. We were down to like 99 at one point, I think, during 2022. And so in those scenarios, if you're looking for more points, don't wait 2 years for that perfect contract to show up. Right now, we are in a bit of a hybrid. It kind of fluctuates, but having 400 to 500 contracts to choose from, if you're shopping, it gives you a little bit of flexibility, knowing that there's a good amount now, and there's probably going to be some more coming. So if you're in that bucket of, hey, we really want to make it as simple as possible, you can. Right now is the time to do it.
Right.
Don't wait. If you're thinking of adding on and you're particular about a use year, don't wait, because if we go back to flipping to a seller's market, you're going to be in that scenario where you may be waiting a couple years to find that match.
Yeah, that's a perfect point.
The other thing too, Marissa, is there are a lot of people who want to add on, and they want to add on a different resort. So my question to them is, are you going to need to combine the points to go to that resort at 7 months? Or could you turn around and use your beach club points this year, bank from last year into this year, and use double points for what the room sizes that you need, and then bank your points from Animal Kingdom into next year, and next year you vacation at Animal Kingdom. Or you do a split stay. Use half of your points 11 months out to stay at Beach Club, and the other half of your points from Animal Kingdom to stay at Animal Kingdom for the rest of the week.
And I think, too, it's important when folks look at adding on, like, what are you adding on? Meaning, if you're looking to add on points at the Grand Cal, for example, right? Those points are so valuable that it doesn't matter if it's the same use year, right? So if I own, the boardwalk, but I really want to go to California, we go every other year, we want to, then it doesn't matter, because those Grand Cal points are so important and so valuable that you're not going to want to take Grand Cal points, honestly, and use them at Walt Disney World. Or people do it for the beach club or boardwalk, and say, listen, this is what we want.
Or my food and wine points, and you know you're always going at this time.
Exactly. So then it really doesn't matter. So think about, again, what are you adding on, and does it make sense? And again, at the end of the world, reach out to us.
At the end of the world, we will.
Let us help you.
The end of the world in 2042. So no, this was great.
Yeah.
This was awesome.
And I think, again, we just want to give you kind of those simple explanations, but everyone's unique, everyone's different, and that's what our team is for. This is why we have over 250 years of DVC sales experience on our team. So really, you can't go wrong. Reach out. You don't have to buy anything. Just if you have a question, that's what we're here for. We love answering those questions.
Well, I bought 1991, first day with a hard hat on.
Yeah.
And so I have used and abused this membership, believe me. And
Sue knows how to break it.
Yep. And I sold direct and retired, and now I sell resale. So I really love to help people. I love to answer your questions and help you get the best use out of your points, because to me, that's what membership is all about. This membership is fantastic if you know how to use it, and I'm willing to teach it.
Yeah, that's a big one too. Is don't feel like you said, because a lot of people be like, I have questions, but I'm not ready to buy.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, don't. It's okay. We got so many ways. Go on live chat. You can pick up the phone and call. You could schedule now virtual appointments, which are great. I did 2 of them yesterday.
You can see Derek's face.
Who doesn't want to do that? But no, you could ask us questions, right? And then say, this is great info. We're going to go ahead and talk about it.
Yeah.
Whether you do your research for another day, another week, another month, it doesn't matter. But get the questions answered.
Yeah.
That's most important.
So I have questions before we end. Since we're all members here, did each of you choose your use year? Was it assigned to you? Does it fit within the way you travel? So Sue, I'll start with you.
February use year was the only use year when they first opened up points.
Okay.
And so we had a February use year. But we were the type of people who would come down at different times of the year.
Okay.
It might be summer, it might be the first week in December. So we'd come down at different times of the year. So it's worked out perfectly for us.
Yep.
Yeah. I bought mine in 1998 or 1999 or something at the boardwalk. And no, we didn't have a choice.
Okay.
I mean, it literally was like you sat in the room and the great Gib McCain said, okay, here you go. You're going to get your points, Derek and Annie, every single October. And we're like, sounds good.
All right.
Hasn't mattered at all.
Okay.
Like we said, booking wise, anything else, we would take the kids out of school.
Yeah.
They would not take them out of school. Sometimes go in the summer, sometimes go in the fall.
Yeah.
So yeah, for us, it really didn't make a difference.
Yeah.
No.
I bought resale, so I did have the chance to choose, but I got a really good deal on a specific contract, so I was like, no, I'm going with that. So that's the scenario where, hey, you can look
She got a November use year.
I sure did. You can look at
We won't tell her that there's no November use year, but
She
that's
doesn't
okay.
have a real contract. But that was a scenario where I was shopping, there was a good amount of inventory.
Yeah.
I looked and said, I want the best deal.
Right.
I got a great deal. I wanted the best deal. I didn't care what the use year was. So I have a September use year, but to your point, Derek, it's never been a concern at all. No. And again, we go at different times of the year, so that definitely helps. We're not hey, we're only July every single year. But again, once you get to use and learn the membership, you can make any use year work. It's just amount of planning and strategizing.
Yes,
Correct.
100%. So again, reach out to us with questions y'all have about your use year. There's so many ways that you could reach out to us. Let us know. And as we kind of wrap up the show, we want to go around the world.
Yeah,
We got
around the
news.
world of
We got
DVC.
good news.
Good news.
Exciting news. So what are we starting with? The do's.
Ooh.
Please tell us news about the dues. Are there dues in 2025?
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel like this should be like a rhyming book by Derek. News on the dues. Dues on the news. Dues.
News on dues. Sue, tell everybody what's going on. This is that time of year where everybody that has a membership is super excited because they know their annual dues are coming.
They are super excited. I'm excited. Actually, the dues will be announced early December. So keep watching the blogs, keep watching our blogs on our website. And as soon as we hear what the proposed dues are, we will let you know. Dues typically do go up. It's just like your house. Your real estate taxes go up, your operating costs go up, maintenance goes up, insurance goes up. Same thing with the Disney properties. So we can expect that that's going to happen. The good news is always that Disney tends to raise their prices on their resorts a heck of a lot more. Generally 10 to 12%, where our dues do not go up as high as that.
Plus 12.5% tax every
Correct.
single night.
Correct.
Yeah.
So throw those things
And
in.
I mean, on average, it is that scary unknown, but on average,
Yep.
dues increase anywhere from 3 to typically 8%.
Correct.
We see an average sit around 4 or 5% across all
Right.
the board. And as soon as we have that info, we'll be putting that on our website. So make sure to look out for that. Sign up for our newsletter so you get all that info as well.
But what I do tell people is, I've been a member for a long time. My dues at Old Key West, let's say they're $10. they're a little over that, but let's say they're $10 a point. And if I were to vacation the first week in December in a studio on a Monday night, I'm going to pay 10 points. So 10 times 10, that's $100 it cost me to stay there in a studio.
Yep.
I mean,
Crazy.
even at
It's a
this
lot
day and
less
age.
than the $400
Yes.
a night.
Yep. So when you vacation on your dues, that's where it gets great because you don't pay for the room anymore, and your dues pay for the room, and the dues are worth it.
Yeah. And Paul, the great Paul Krieger, who does a lot of our blogs and part of the World of DVC family, he's got that blog ready to go.
Yeah.
Like I just talked
It'll
to
go
him
live.
yesterday.
So they make it official in December, but they do kind of hint to it.
They
Yep.
trickle.
Yes, exactly. It won't be official, but I've never seen it change from
Right.
non-official to
Right.
the official.
Right.
So
Yep.
we should have that any day now.
Yep.
The other big news coming is the Polynesian Tower. I know we're all anxious to see it.
I almost
can't
dressed
wait.
appropriately.
You did. You were
did.
so close.
Yeah.
You look great. But coming November 19th, all DVC members can now book the Polynesian. So if you have been waiting and you don't own it, the Polynesian, mark that date in your
Yeah.
calendar, November 19th. Also, if you're not using your points this year or next year and you're
Yeah.
saying, hey, we're taking a different vacation or time off, head over to DVC Rental Store. We are needing your points. And you can book the Polynesian, which is in high demand.
High demand.
So, again, for those of you who have excess points, or if you're not a member and you want to try before you buy and you want to try at the newest tower at Disney World, check out the Polynesian Tower. You can rent points at DVC Rental Store. So really great options. One of the great things happening this week at DVC Rental Store, it is a limited time, but they are lowering their prices, and it's the lowest they've been all year.
Oh, wow.
It's the
Wow.
lowest in the industry on prices for renting points. So if you're planning that next Disney vacation, run on over there. Make sure you're putting in your request. There's two ways to book vacations with DVC Rental Store. You can look at their confirmed reservations. These are already booked stays. So if it matches what you're looking for, you get that stay instantly. Or you can check availability, which means it's going to check what DVC currently has available on their site. If they see it's available, then they'll match you with the member. That process takes maybe 48 hours.
Yeah.
So still very, very quick. And then you can be more specific about where you want to stay.
Hey, I actually have a rental store question. Not for me, but I had a guest ask me yesterday.
Yeah.
And say, so we bought a membership, it's 200 points. Can I go to the DVC rental store? I just want to buy 200 points. Like, can I rent 200 points? Because the reservation that I want, I have 200, it needs 400. Can they help them with that?
So the best thing to do with that is max out your points. So if you
Okay.
have 200 points and it gets you 4 nights, book that 4 nights.
Right.
And then if
Gotcha,
you want to
okay.
add on another 3 nights or 4 nights, let the rental store know. They will match that same style reservation for the remaining 4 nights.
For the
And then you
okay.
would just call member services and ask them to merge those
Yep.
reservations.
She'll link
good.
them together.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Yep.
Good.
Great question.
Perfect. Wasn't even my question. That's the best part. It came from a guest.
Let them know.
Right?
Great question.
Let them know.
And then, Derek, we have some exciting news at DVC Resale Market.
Oh, we do. This is probably one of the most popular promotion types
Last year, I
that
think
we've
we
done.
broke the website
Oh
when
my
we
God.
announced it.
It was insane. It was insanely popular, and I've had so many guests, I know all of us have, say, y'all going to do another promotion to where I don't have to put a lot of money down.
Especially
You just
with
want
the
to buy a
holidays.
contract, yeah. at
With the
Christmas
holidays
time.
coming up, I went online and I looked, and it looks like I have to put XXX down. Do you guys have any other options for me? Because, like you said, it's perfect. Holidays are coming. I really don't have, but I want to join, or I found this perfect contract that I want to. So we have launched right now. It just started, I think, yesterday. So there's 10 of them up there, and hopefully we're going to be getting more of them, where you could join your down payment, right, to finance a DVC membership on very select listings. They are noted on there. With only money needed at down is $500.
That's it.
That's it. So that means there are contracts out there, right, of 200 points, 150 points, 250 points, where the only money I need down to get started, you could finance with Monera Financial, is $500. That's it. Locked and loaded, meaning closing costs, none. Everything is taken
Dues,
care
none.
of. Dues,
Yep.
none, everything taken care of. So you literally will have no additional money out of pocket until that first payment starts.
Yep.
Right.
That's it. And if you're like, well, I don't really want to finance it, you know what? Monera's the best. You can pay it off early.
Yep.
There's
Right.
no penalty to pay it off
Yep.
whatsoever. But we had so many folks last year that did it and now want to add on points and say, yeah, but I'm waiting for like another promotion
Right.
Yeah.
like that again. Are you doing it? We're doing it now.
Yeah.
DVCResaleMarket.com. Check it out. You can go to listings.
Yep.
Then you can go to, I think it's status.
Status,
right?
yep.
Status, go all the way down to the bottom, and you'll see where it says, $500 with financing.
And I'll put a direct
Check that
link
one.
in the
Perfect.
description that you can just click on from there. It will filter it auto for you.
Yeah.
But again, this is perfect for especially those guests who are saying, we want to be DVC members. And you're always in that deficit because you've paid for that next big Disney vacation.
Yeah.
So if you're in that deficit where you said, we just went on vacation, well, this is the best way to do it because you can kind of kickstart that. $500 down, take the time you need, save up for that next year's vacation.
Right.
And then if you just want to pay it off, pay it off.
Pay it
Right.
off.
But it gets that started for you without being in that deficit of saying, next year we'll join DVC. Next year we'll join DVC.
Yeah. If we had, for every time that people say, you know what, God, I wish I did it sooner. Right? We looked at it and we probably should have done it, but we're not going to do it. A year goes by, 2 years go by, 3 years go by. Then they join and they realize, again, Sue, my God, I could have bought like 200 points for all the money I gave Mickey just renting hotel rooms.
That's right.
Yeah. Research is key.
Yep.
This show is key. This show has helped a lot of people.
Yeah. And
that's what
ending
we
off,
love.
as we look to future vacations, right?
Yep.
If you are looking, I know there's so much great news happening with Disney Cruise Line, whether you want to go on the Treasure or the Adventure or one of the other 4 or 5 new ships coming that they've announced, make sure to reach out, whether you're a DVC member and you want to swap your points.
Yeah.
We have a whole swap episode if you want to learn more about swaps, but essentially, if you're looking to use your points, this will save you 65% off of Disney's direct point usage.
Oh, yeah.
So great way to do that. If you are not a member or you don't want to use your points, Be Our Guest Vacation are amazing. Concierge travel agency. They actually just got platinum as a travel agency with
fantastic.
Disney. And we are the experts at Universal as well. So if you're looking to go to Universal, you can swap your points or go with Be Our Guest Vacations. We are actually the number 4 travel agency on the day of opening for Epic.
Oh, for
Of
real?
booking. So if you want a team that knows their stuff, that's our team here. And again, that's all of the world of DVC. Whether you are looking to become a member, rent points, rent out your points, swap your points, book a cruise, we have you covered. And that's what makes me so thankful to work with such an amazing team.
Right.
Because every area of our company loves what they do.
Yeah.
They're passionate about the product. And they offer just the best service out there.
Yep.
It is.
Yeah.
I'm so grateful that I got to do a show today with both of you.
I know.
I missed you, and I missed you.
all.
I missed you all. And Jeff's back.
Jeff's back.
Jeff's back.
From
Jeff,
the World
as you
Series.
from the World Series, which is very cool. Do you mind if I say what Jeff
Yeah,
brought
yeah.
you? You tell him.
Well, so my son became a huge LA Dodgers fan. And so for those of you who have little boys, Shohei Ohtani is the name in our house. So Jeff was at the World Series. We were watching the game looking for him every chance we got. Could we find Jeff? But we did get a number 17 Ohtani ball. So thank you very much, Jeff. And an amazing shirt, too. So my son will be very, very happy.
Unless Sue takes it to put it in her prize bag.
We'll stick with the Magic Kingdom.
We'll break the heart of Caden. Where's that ball?
I couldn't do that to Kate.
So thank you all, everybody, for tuning in. This was a really fun and informative show.
Yep,
So I'm
and
glad-
let us know what you're thankful for in the comments.
Yeah.
Sue has that amazing gift of
Yes.
pins coming out to one lucky winner there. And again, make sure to stay tuned to all of our social media channels
Yes.
as we showcase our Give Back November and
Yep.
join in the fun with that as well.
Yes, we're so proud to be a part and tying in with that organization. Once again, it makes us so, so proud. And again, we couldn't do any of this without y'all watching. So
Yep.
thank you guys truly from everybody here at the World of DVC. We wish you a magical Thanksgiving holiday season. Can't wait to do the show next month for Christmas. It's one of my favorite ones. So thank you all again for tuning in. And you know what I'm thankful for? This long-standing tradition. And we'll see you real soon. Oh, where's that baseball?